Hi, I'm Melissa. I'm going to be teaching my Rocket 3 Final with Yoga with Carson Academy. You will just need your mat and a couple blocks, which are also optional, and some water. The course that we'll be doing today is about an hour and 15 minutes long. Any vinyasas are going to be completely optional. Chaturangas can be done on your knees, chest, chin, or they can be skipped altogether. You can go into downward dog or child's pose whenever you need to. So let's go ahead and get started on our mats. We're going to start off in a tabletop position with our hands shoulder width distance apart and our wrists below the shoulders and our knees below the hips. We'll start off with a little wrist warm up here. Just keeping your fingers spread wide and just rocking forward and back. Keeping your weight evenly distributed between the tips of your fingers, your finger roots, and the heel of your hand. And carrying that equal weight all throughout all of our vinyasas. Just a couple more just like this. Back to center, and then rotate your hands inwards so the fingertips are towards each other. The outsides of your wrist are towards the outsides of your mat. And just sway side to side. Taking this time to also slow down your breath and tune into your breath. Every inhale for 3 seconds. And exhale for 3 seconds. Go ahead and rotate the wrists forward, facing the front of your mat. Your fingertips are facing you. And go ahead and rock forward and back once again. You can scoot your hips back a little bit further on this one if you can. If not, that's okay too. Rotate the wrists so the fingertips are facing forward again. And we'll go ahead and we'll lift the heels of our hands up. If this is too much for you, just do one hand at a time. Trying to keep a straight line from the shoulder to the wrist to the center of the hand. Three, two, and last one. Go ahead and lift yourself high onto the toes. Lift your hips up and back for our first downward facing dog. Keeping your hands shoulder width distance apart. Fingers are spread wide. Knees can be bent if the hamstrings are tight. The heels do not have to touch the mat. They can be up if your hamstrings are tight. Trying to keep the thighs engaged, reaching above the kneecaps. Belly button to the spine. Keeping your shoulders engaged, pressing the ground away. If it feels good to you, you can slowly take one step at a time and walk out your dog, or you could also sway side to side here. Just getting into our first downward facing dog. On your next inhale, pull yourself forward, go back onto your knees, and we'll do a couple chaturanga push-ups on our knees. Just lowering down halfway or all the way, keeping the elbows hugged into the chest, and then pressing yourself back up for 1. Lowering down again, press yourself back up for 2, and then lowering yourself down again, press yourself up for 3. This time, lower yourself all the way down, keeping the hips up. Hips will be the last thing that goes to the ground. Chest down, chin down, keeping an anterior tilt in the hips. And then one at a time, flattening the feet out so the hips go flat. Inhale here. Shine your heart up for baby cobra pose. See if you can lift your hands off the mat just a few inches. And then maybe take the hands back to where the elbows are and just lift yourself up a little bit higher. Really engaging the lower back muscles, engaging the legs, engaging the tops of the feet as well. Put the hands back below the shoulders and press yourself back up into downward facing dog. And exhale in here. Let's take one full round of breath. Inhale. And exhale. Let's slowly start to tiptoe or walk ourselves up to meet the hands for our first forward fold. Again, keeping the knees bent, equally distributing the weight between the balls of the feet, the toes, and the heels. Keeping the head and neck loose. You can shake the head no, shake the head yes. Grab a hold of the elbows with the hands for ragdoll. Maybe sway side to side here. Breathing in through the nose. And breathing out through the nose. Slowly, on your next exhale, roll yourself up to standing, one vertebrae at a time, slowly working your way all the way up to standing. Roll the shoulders down the back, standing here in mountain pose. Strong legs, grounded the feet, tucking the chin slightly. Sun salutation A. Inhale, arms up overhead, maybe you look up. Exhale, forward fold, hands to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift with your hands, fingertips on the mat or hands on the shins, keeping length in the spine, crown of the head reaches forward, active back. Exhale, chaturanga. We'll do knees, chest, chin here. Knees down, chest down, keeping the elbows hugged in. Hips are the last thing to go down, and then flatten out all the way. Inhale, pull the heart through, opening up through the collarbones, cobra pose. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. We'll take 3 rounds of breath here. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale. Last one. Exhale, bend the knees. Look forward. Inhale, step to the top of the mat. Hands on the shins or fingertips on the mat for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up overhead, maybe look up. Exhale, Samastiti, hands to your side. One more, Sun A. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Strong back. Exhale, plant the hands. Chaturanga. We'll do another chaturanga push-up, lowering down to the knees with control, hugging the elbows into the ribs, lowering down halfway, or about the height of your block if it was sideways. Inhale. Lower down onto the hips, keeping a slight micro bend in the elbows, pulling the heart through for upward facing dog. Active thighs. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Bend knees. Look forward and float to the top of your mat. Halfway lift on the inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up all the way up. Look up. Exhale, Samastiti. Sun salutation B. Inhale, arms up, sink the hips down and back for chair pose, keeping a posterior tilt in the hips, engaging the lower abdominals. See if you can lift your toes off the mat, making sure that you can keep the weight back into your heels, and you can see your toes past your knees. Hands can also be in prayer. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right foot forward behind the right wrist. Pivot the back foot, 45-degree angle. Square off the hips to the front of the mat. Arms up. Right knee below right ankle. Warrior one. Exhale, hands down. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot behind left wrist. Pivot the right foot 45 degrees. Left knee above left ankle. Arms up. Warrior one, left hand side. Exhale, plant the hands, chaturanga. Inhale up. Exhale down. 3 rounds of breath here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Bend the knees. Exhale and look forward. Step to your top of your mat. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Sinking the hips back. Arms up, maybe look up. Exhale, standing tall, Samasthiti. Sun salutation B, one more time. Inhale, arms up, sink the hips down and back, chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, strong back. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot forward, pivot the left foot. Square the hips, arms up for warrior one. Exhale, follow the breath all the way down for chaturanga on your knees or high plank. Strong legs, strong core. Press yourself onto your toes and lower down halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward. Pivot back foot. Arms up. Warrior one. Exhale, follow the breath all the way down. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. 3 rounds of breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, last one. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward, and step to your top of your mat. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose, sink the hips back. Look up. Exhale, standing tall, Samasthiti. Sun salutation C. Tip of the rocket. Inhale, sink the hips, arms up, chair pose for 3 rounds of breath. Try to lower down just a smidge lower each time with every breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. See if you can lift the toes on this last breath. Inhale. Exhale. Interlace the hands. Strong core. Keep a straight line for half chair from your hips to your shoulders to your wrists. Pressing the fingers away. Keeping your legs active, squeezing the knees together. Squeezing the thighs together. 2 more breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Plant the hands. Pivot the feet so they're facing both corners of the front of your mat. And lower down for a squat. Malasana pose. Hands into prayer. Use your elbows to press your knees away to feel a deeper stretch in your hip flexors. You can stay here for a couple rounds of breaths. You could use a block to sit underneath, to put underneath you while you're seated, or you can come into crow pose, keeping the hands shoulder width distance apart. Lift yourself up onto your toes and try to put your knees, the tops of your knees, right below your armpits at the highest point of your triceps. Gaze is looking forward in front of you. See if you can just lift the right foot up. Still breathing. You're high on the left toes. Drop the right foot down. Going high on the right toes. Lift the left foot up. Squeeze your foot into the glutes, making sure you're extending through the back of the neck. And maybe lift your other foot up. Now step back. We're going to exhale, lower down to Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll just stay here for 2 rounds of breath to catch our breath, mainly mine. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale, right foot behind the right wrist. Warrior 1. Arms up, look up. Exhale. Pivot to warrior 2. Your back foot is now on a separate line. Open hips. Front heel is in line with the arch of the left foot. Arms out to a T. Gazes across the middle finger. Posterior tilt in the hips. For warrior 2. Inhale, step this foot in, the right foot in just a little bit, straighten out the right leg. Exhale, reach forward as much as you can, then start to lower and tick-tock. The right hand down, the left arm up for triangle pose. Pivot the foot at a 45-degree angle. You can use a block here for triangle. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, rise up, hands on hips, take an inhale here, exhale, fold. Halfway, keeping a flat back here. You can use your blocks to plant the hands on your block. Gaze is just at the front, the right toes here, looking down. Inhale, raise the right arm up, peel the chest open. For revolved triangle pose, gaze is at the right fingertips. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Lower the hand down, cartwheel the arms. Hips back open to the left side of the mat. Warrior 2 legs, hands out to a T. Inhale here. Exhale, lower the torso down. Raise the left arm up. Gaze might follow the left fingertips for extended side angle. Your hand could also be on a block, or it could stay rested with the right knee on the right hip, right knee on the right elbow. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale, square off the hips at the front of the mat, keeping a slight bend in the knee and the back for crescent lunge. Roll the shoulders down the back. Inhale here. Exhale, lower down onto the left knee, hands into prayer, and cross over to the right for revolved side angle. Use your left elbow to peel yourself open and get a deeper twist. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Plant the hands, chaturanga, on your knees or on your toes, whatever works best for you. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Dolphin pose. Inhale, lower the forearms down, keeping your hands right where they were in downward facing dog position. You can stay here or tiptoe the feet just a little bit further in so your hips are almost just in line with your shoulders. Gaze is between the forearms. And just stay here for 5 rounds of breath. Inhale, exhale, and keeping yourself pressing high onto your toes. Last breath. Inhale and exhale. Drop back onto your knees, sink the hips back, keeping the hands where they are. Sink back for a child's pose position, stretching out the shoulders and the hips. You can drop your forehead on the mat and shake the head side to side, or turn your head to the side to just take a couple breaths. Inhale, peel yourself back up. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Same thing on the other side. Inhale, left leg forward, warrior one. Pivot the right foot, 45 degrees, arms up. Exhale, warrior two. Open hips. Arms out to a T. Straighten the left leg. Lowering down. Hand on a block in triangle or hand on the shin. Right arm reaches up. Gaze follows, or gaze can be down at the ground if that's more comfortable. Strong legs. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Come back to center. Hands on the hips. Pivot at a 45-degree angle. Inhale here. Exhale. Lower the torso down halfway, hinging at the hips. Grab a hold of your block. Hands can be down below your shoulders, onto your block or onto your mat for a pyramid pose. You can stay here or reach up towards the left. Peel the chest open. I'm going to use my block here. Peeling the chest open towards the left. Gaze follows for revolved triangle. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Cartwheel the arms. Pivot the right foot back. So the arch of the right foot is in line with the heel of the left foot. Arms back out to a T for warrior two. One breath here. Inhale. Exhale, lower the torso down. Elbow meets the knee. Externally rotate the shoulder across the body. Strong legs for extended side angle. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Cartwheel the arms. Pivot the hips back to center, keeping a bend in the right knee. Shoulders roll down the back, crescent lunge. Hands into prayer. Drop the right knee down and twist towards the left. Revolved side angle. Inhale. Exhale. Using my right elbow to peel myself open and feel a little bit of a deeper twist. Inhale. Exhale. Exhale, plant the hands, chaturanga, or skip it, downward dog. Inhale up. Exhale down. Dolphin or Pinchamayurasana. Lower the forearms down to the mat. Stay here or tiptoe your feet in just a little bit more. And stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop the knees down, sink the hips back for child's pose. Forehead's resting on the mat. You can take a downward facing dog or vinyasa. Pull yourself up, lowering down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. You can take a nice little stroll here. 2 options. A is to take a little stroll here to meet the feet in the back of the mat. If this feels good to you and you don't want to do anything more, just stay here and enjoy this forward fold for just a minute. Otherwise, go into like a shortened downward dog stance. We're going to push ourselves forward all the way like we're doing a very exaggerated chaturanga, pushing ourselves up. And then engaging your core, engaging your abs, pushing yourself back to a forward fold position. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Padangusthasana. Grab with your peace fingers your big toes. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Keeping the weight evenly distributed in your feet, pressing down with the balls of your feet, using your arms to pull you down and get a deeper stretch. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, release the hands. Lift yourself onto your heels. Push your hands underneath your feet, palms facing up, and lower the feet back down for Padangusthasana. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, release. Breathing here in the fold, stretching out the wrists. Weight in the balls of the feet. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, release. Slowly roll up, one vertebrae at a time to standing. Raise the arms up. And I'm walking my feet in just to be a little bit closer together. To start, reach up onto your tippy toes. We're going to take San Francisco twinkle toes to the top of the mat. I'm squeezing my ankles together right now to stay balanced, squeezing the knees together. When you start walking to the front, if you start with the right foot, you're going to start off by swaying to the left. Right foot forward. Sway to the right. Left foot forward. Sway to the left. Just keep repeating this till you're at the top of the mat. And just stay here. Reach up. And exhale, release. Inhale, face the right side of the mat. Feet outward. Inhaling here. Exhale, fold. Hinging at the hips. Hands meet the mat. Heel of the hand can meet the heel of the feet, or just place the hands wherever they may. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, release. Hands back on the hips. Inhale, arms out to a T. Exhale, interlace the hands behind you. Inhale. Peel the chest open. Lower the hands down past your bum. Exhale. Forward fold. Stretching out the shoulders, rinsing out the shoulders, letting the hands fall as they may. Keeping the neck relaxed. Strong legs here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale to lengthen. Slowly releasing your shoulders back. And exhale, release. Inhale, arms out to a T. Exhale, peace fingers grab a hold of the big toes. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, fold. Using your arms to pull yourself down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale. I'm going to walk my hands back. So I'm seated, lowering down. I'm going to sit down onto the mat. Walking my hands down, slowly but surely. We'll start off with a side stretch. I'm going to close up my stance a little bit so my legs are 90 degrees. Lowering the right forearm down to the mat, reaching the left arm across. Feeling a stretch in the left side body, making sure that both of my sit bones are evenly planted on the ground, flexing up through the heels of both of my feet. Thighs are engaged. And let's switch sides. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, release. Wide-legged forward fold. Inhale here. Exhale, grab a hold of the toes with the peace fingers, and try to lengthen the back before you fold. Lengthen and fold. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale, release. Next breath, interlace the arms behind us again. Inhale here. Exhale, fold, rinse out the shoulders again. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale, release the arms. Walk yourself towards the back of the mat. So the right leg is forward and the left leg is going to be bent behind us for a low lunge. We'll just take a few breaths here, sinking down and getting deeper into the left hip flexor. Inhale. Exhale. You can walk the right foot out if that feels good to you to take this a little bit deeper, or just go right into your splits pose. If you're not taking the splits, you can sink your hip back, lift the toes to the sky for a runner's lunge on the right hand side, stretching out the right hamstring. Take 2 more breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Gaze at my toes. And exhale. Then I pivot myself back to the center of my mat. Oh, don't mind Winky. There's Winky. And we're going to walk ourselves up for a low lunge to stretch out the right hip. You can make this lunge as deep as you would like, as deep as feels good to you. And walk the toes out a little bit more. Rock forward and back, or just stay in your lunge. Inhale here, and exhale, sink the hips back, toes to the sky, squaring off the hips, keeping them centered towards the front of the mat. Chin to shin, or as close as you can get. This is about all I got for today. Just stretching out the hamstring here for a few rounds of breath. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale, release. We'll go back to center, to our wide-legged seated position. Grab a hold of your blocks. Mula Bandha checkups. My legs are 90 degrees. Going on to the right hand side, frame your right thigh with the blocks. Our hands are going to be shoulder width distance apart, as if we're doing a chaturanga, keeping the knees bent. Inhaling here, lowering down, framing the right leg, keeping both of your legs active throughout. Exhale, press yourself up. Maybe lift one leg, maybe you lift both. You're using all of your lower pelvic floor muscles to keep you lifted here. For 3, 2, 1, and release. Shake it out if you need to. And we'll go on to the other side. Switch your blocks around. Flexing the feet. Lowering down. And then press yourself up, squeezing your core, squeezing your legs for 3, 2, 1. Release back down. Set your blocks aside. Take a downward dog or your vinyasa, whatever feels good to you. Take as much time as you need to get there. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Widen your downward dog just a little bit so your pinkies are touching the sides of your mat. Mine are touching the carpet. We're going to tiptoe ourselves to the front of the mat. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, hands to your heart, hands to the sides on the CTE. Left hand on left hip, grab a hold of the right toe with the peace fingers, keeping a strong left leg, rising up all the way. Keeping your leg bent here, or you can straighten the leg out. Strong left leg, keeping an active right leg, active arm, active core for Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. You can also fold and bring your chin to your shin. Just stay here. 3, 2, 1. Open the hip up towards the right, keeping the knee bent or keeping the knee straight. Your drishti can be on the same spot that you've been looking at, or test your balance and look to the left. For 3, 2, 1. Back to center. Inhale. Release the toe. Hands on the hips. Point the right foot out. And hold. For 3, 2, and 1. Figure 4. Bend the right knee. Ankle will meet the thigh for figure 4. Or you can bring the knife edge of the foot to the hip. Or you can bring your foot to the side of the foot for tree. Stand here, or you can fold. Hands into prayer or hands on the mat. For 3, 2, 1. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale, release. Shake it out. Right hand on right hip. Grab a hold of the big toe with the peace fingers on the left hand side. Keeping your knee in and bent or extend down. Chin to shin or stay here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Open up towards the left hand side. Gaze to the same spot in front of you or towards the right. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, back to center. Both hands on the hips. Point the left foot out and stay for 3, 2, and 1. Figure 4 or tree pose on the left hand side. Feeling a really nice stretch in the hip. Hands on the hips, or you can fold. For 3, 2, 1. Release, back to center. Sun A again. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, chaturanga, or skip it to down dog. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Walk your hands out to the pinkies. Touch the corners of your mat. Tiptoe the feet in until you can't anymore. Crisscross the legs. And come in a seated position. You can pull your sit bones back a little bit to prepare for some seated positions. For Dandasana staff pose. Hands will be right by the hips. Roll the shoulders down the back. Tuck the chin. Flex the feet so much that maybe your heels are off the ground. Keeping strong thighs here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. We'll fold for Paschimottanasana. Grabbing a hold of the big toes with the peace fingers. Lengthen in the spine is more important than folding all the way down, meeting your shin. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale. Wrap your hands, interlace the hands around the feet for Paschimottanasana B. Inhale here and exhale, fold. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Release. We can do a reverse tabletop here by walking the feet in, keeping the hands just a little bit further back behind us, lifting the hips up, or keeping your feet out all the way for upward facing plank pose, pointing the toes in front of us, lifting the hips, lifting the heart. Gaze is up, or maybe the chin is all the way up and back, and your gaze is behind you. For 3, 2, and 1. Release the hips down and back. Plant the hands, cross the feet, and make your way to chaturanga, or skip it and go right to downward dog. Exhale down. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Inhale, tiptoe yourself towards the top of the mat until you can't anymore. And then crisscross the feet and come to seated. This time, the right foot will be forward. And the left foot will be in like tree legs, keeping a strong front leg. Janu Sirsasana. Grabbing a hold of the left foot, the right foot. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, release. Don't mind me. I think my computer has a virus. That's what I was staring at. Gaze is at your toes here. Keeping your shoulders square and keeping the integrity of the left hip as if you're pulling your left knee to the ground. Inhale here. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, release. Marichyasana A. Left knee to the sky, keeping a handprint width distance. Lowering your torso down, squaring off the hips, wrapping the left arm around the left knee, keeping a bind, and folding here. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, release. Left arm behind you. Inhale here. Exhale, twist. Marichyasana C. Keeping a strong right leg. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale back to center. Chaturanga, or take a pistol squat here. Lift your hip up and back. Make your way to Chaturanga, up dog, and downward facing dog. Same thing, other side. Inhale, make your way up to crisscross into seated. Left foot forward, right foot into tree legs here. Strong hip pointing out the right knee. Inhale here. Exhale, fold. Gaze at the toes. Janu Sirsasana A. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, release. Right knee points to the ceiling, handprint distance. Square off your shoulders and lower down to the left knee. Wrap the right arm around the left knee and grab a hold with the hand. Square off the shoulders and fold for Marichyasana A. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, release. Right arm goes behind. Twist. Open towards the right. Marichyasana C. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, release. Pistol squat or make your way to Chaturanga or skip it completely for downward facing dog. Up. Struggling here. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale. Make your way back towards the front of the mat. And we're going to turn to the right-hand side of our mats. Turning at a 90-degree angle. Stand up high on your tippy toes for Padmasana, noose pose. Squeezing the ankles together, squeezing the knees together, keeping my legs active. Hands into prayer and twist towards the left. You can also reach around for a bind, reaching around the back. I'm going to stay here in my prayer twist for a breath. Inhale. Exhale. I'm going to plant the right hand down. Open up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Lower the hand down. Jump or step back. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Same thing. Step or hop to the top of the mat. 90 degrees. Turn towards the left. Strong legs. Stay on your tippy toes. Inhale here. Exhale, twist towards the right. Staying here in the twist. Or planting the left arm down. Opening up towards the right. 2 breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Plant the hand. And jump or step back for Chaturanga or skip it and take downward facing dog. I'm modifying all of my Chaturangas. I'm doing them on my knees because I had a wrist injury and I don't mess around anymore. Inhale here. Exhale. Just for a breath. We'll start some back bending poses of Rocket 2. Inhale, pull yourself forward and slowly with control, lower yourself all the way down onto your belly and flatten out. Keep your hands towards your sides with palms facing up for Shalabhasana, locust pose. Keeping your hands planted down on the ground, hips planted into the mat. Inhale and lift your shoulders up. Squeezing your big toes together, your ankles together, and your knees together. Gaze is forward. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Plant the hands right below the elbows and lift your back up just a little bit higher. Keep squeezing through the legs for 3, 2, and 1. Release back down. Inhale, press yourself forward for upward facing dog. And exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, press yourself forward, high plank, lower down, all the way. Left arm will crisscross over the front, and left and right arm will reach behind us for a nice quad stretch. Hand is with your fingers wrapped around either the arch of the foot or the ankle. Thumb is pointing down. Gaze can be behind you or just in front of you for a nice quad stretch. Inhale, exhale. We're going to take half boat next by peeling the heel away from the glute while also lifting up the thigh. Keeping a hold of the left ankle, and gaze might be back towards the right leg. Inhale, exhale, release. Other side. Grab a hold of the left ankle with the left wrist, right forearm crosses. Do a nice little quad stretch here. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Twist your gaze towards the left. Externally rotate the shoulder and get a little bit of a shoulder stretch while you're stretching out your quad. Half boat, left side. Peel the glute. Peel the heel away from the glute and lift the hip up. For 3, 2, 1. Release. Now stay here, keeping a hold of the left ankle, and with the right arm, grab a hold of the right ankle. We're going to do full boat pose, keeping our legs very active, peeling the heels away from the glutes, but also lifting the thighs off of the mat. The more engaged your legs are, the higher up you will go from your chest. So for 3, 2, 1, let's lift. Opening the heart, gaze is forward. Inhale and exhale. Release back down. Hands below the shoulders. Press yourself up. Upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. Bend the knees, look forward, and make your way to the top of the mat, this time landing on our knees. Very gently landing on my knees. Go onto the balls of the feet here, and lift yourself up so your hips are in line with your knees. Hands on the hips here for camel. Inhale, exhale, pressing the hips forward and leaning back, opening the heart, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Gazes to the sky. You can stay here, or you can also reach for your heels with your hands. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Come back to center. Lower back down for chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, walk yourself up for your feet to meet your hands, and then crisscross the legs and come into seated. We'll take a bridge pose from here. You can use your block or not. It's up to you. Lying flat on your back, we're going to press our hips up to the sky, squeezing the knees and the thighs together. To feel a deeper stretch, you can interlace the hands behind you, walk your shoulders in, and lift yourself up just a little bit higher, keeping your legs active the entire time, opening through the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades together. For 3, 2, 1, release. If that felt good for you, you can take another bridge, or you could take wheel pose, placing the hands right besides the ears. Fingers are facing the shoulders. Walk your feet in just a smidge, and then lift yourself up onto the crown of the head. When you're ready, lift yourself up all the way and see if you can walk your feet in just a little bit. Squeezing up through the glutes, pressing the legs together once again, and breathing here. Trying to keep your shoulders in line with your wrists and keeping the weight evenly distributed through your fingers. For 3, 2, and 1. Release. And just stay here for a moment and just kind of take a breath. Shake out the wrists if you need to. It's a pretty intense posture. Going into our closing rocket sequence, we're going to lift ourselves up and take a waterfall position here. Lift the legs up just directly above the hips. Take a supported waterfall. Place the block right underneath your hip bones and stay here. You can also lift up your arms. So you're just draining the blood out of all of your arms and your legs. Just relaxing after all of the chaturanga's done. If this feels good to you, you can stay here. Otherwise, slowly remove the block and lift your hips up a little bit higher for shoulder stand. Squeezing the elbows in towards each other, placing the hands onto the hips to support yourself, and pointing the feet to reach up to the sky. If this feels good, stay here. Otherwise, lift your feet up towards your head and past for plow position. Tops of the feet leave the floor, keeping your hands on your hips for support. You can stay here or lower the knees on each side of the ears. For 3, 2, 1. Slowly release. Back down to center. I'm going to crisscross my legs, come back up, and chaturanga. 1 foot at a time to the back, drop into my knees. Inhale up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Next is headstand, and you can either stay in a supported dolphin position or you can take headstand. So starting off with your hands interlaced, I'm going to move my bun so the crown of my head will be free here. crown of your head, the very center of your head will be touching the mat. So lower your head to meet the mat and interlace your hands so your thumbs are pointing up. And cradle your head in your hands. I keep my elbows inwards, but you can keep them out if that feels better for you. And lift yourself up. Lift the hips up to the sky. You can stay here or maybe just walk the feet in just a little bit. Again, keeping a straight line from the hips to the shoulders. And maybe you lift one leg up. Maybe you lift the other leg up. And you can stay here. Breathing here. And if you can pike your legs halfway, slowly lower down halfway. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to. No, I cannot do that today. Otherwise, stay in headstand or come back down. Take a child's pose. When you're ready, lower your legs down slowly all the way, and then sink your hips back and extend the arms forward, letting the blood exit the upper body so you don't get super lightheaded. Inhale, pull yourself forward for Chaturanga. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, halfway lift or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walk your hands out and walk your feet in to come to seated. We will take a pigeon pose next. So swing your right leg around, squaring off the hips to the front of the mat, and then left foot is behind. Plant the hands, and you can stay here if that feels good, or you can fold. Inhale, lift yourself up, and we're gonna just switch our legs. So the right leg is going behind us, and the left leg crosses over our body, squaring off the hips to the front of the mat. And stay here, or lower down as much as you need to, lowering down onto the forearms, or lower down the forehead and flatten out altogether. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, come back up. We'll take cow face position. I'm going to face you. Keep your left leg bent like it was in pigeon, and wrap your right leg around. So both of your knees are stacked up on top of each other. You can stay here, or also lift your right arm up and grab a hold of the right fingers with the left for a bind for cow face. You can stay here, or fold with your arms in the bind, or just place your arms out to the side and fold. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, release. We'll switch sides, releasing the right leg over the left, switching the left leg underneath, right leg on top. I'll face on the left-hand side. Keeping both the knees on top of each other as best as your body will allow. For the bind, left arm goes behind the head. Right arm reaches to meet the fingers. And you can fold here or fold without the bind. Or just stay seated, sitting up, whatever feels best for you. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, release. Our final vinyasa. I'm really sorry that I've been clearing my throat so much. I don't even notice I'm doing it until the very end. So I crisscrossed my legs back to center. And I'm just going to take one step at a time for my feet to be in plank position. Lowering down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Inhale, tiptoe the feet forward, and we'll come to a seated position. On the mat. Hands are going to be open, palms facing up, hands extended past the knees, keeping your shoulders down the back for a nice seated position. Pointer fingers and thumbs will touch. Just getting a couple breaths here in this Yogi Mudra position. Grab a hold of your blocks for this last one. Place the blocks on either side of you. You can keep your legs in a nice, easy seated position, or if you wanted to take lotus, half lotus or full lotus, bring the knife edges to your feet, to the hip creases, whatever feels good to you. And again, using your pelvic floor muscles and the weight, keeping your legs active, you're going to lift yourself up onto your blocks, keeping a bend in the arms, fingers spread wide, lowering down, and then pressing yourself up, squeezing your legs in for 3, 2. I'm like rocking back and forth real bad. And 1, release. We'll make our way onto our backs from here, releasing down. Make your arms up to a T position. Lift your hips up so your knees are above your hips. And we'll do a spinal twist towards the right. Drop your knees down towards the right, gaze towards the left, keeping both of your shoulders planted down evenly on the mat. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale back to center. Inhale, switch sides. Inhale back to center. If there's any other movements that you wanted to take before our practice ends today, please do so now. You can hug your knees into your chest, rock side to side, massaging the low back. Or maybe you're ready to extend your feet out all the way. And hands beside you, palms facing down for grounding, palms facing up for receiving. For our final resting pose, checking in with your body, releasing any tension that is left. Releasing the forehead, jaw, tongue off the roof of the mouth. Letting the eyes fall back. Releasing the shoulders, neck, your biceps, the elbows. Relaxing your wrists and your fingers. Carrying the sense of relaxation throughout your body, letting it sweep down past your abdomen or hips, your knees, letting the tension flow out of your ankles and out of your feet, welcoming new energy in. Savasana. Take an inhale and come back into this space. Exhale and wiggling the fingers and the toes. Maybe rolling the ankles and the wrists or shaking out the legs. Maybe you lift the arms up overhead and take a big stretch like you're just waking up in the morning. Coming back into your breath and coming back into this space. Make your way onto your side if you'd like. Otherwise, you can just stay on your back. That feels good to you. Make your way onto your side. Otherwise, you can stay here or press yourself up and come into an easy seated position. Thank you so much for joining me and Winky today for my Rocket 3 final. I really appreciate you watching the whole thing and for putting up with me clearing my throat and helping me learn and supporting me through this journey of me finally getting certified. Thank you so much. Love and light. Namaste.